I was pretty determined from the very beginning to really tell nobody, except for my wife, my sister, and my parents.
I spoke with my manager at the time because I knew I needed some immediate treatment, and we worked out a modified schedule during the treatments I would need. And then I felt like I wanted to get back to normal as quickly as possible.
I thought of walking to my boss's office. I would come in the morning and say to myself, this is the day. I'm going to go in and tell them. And by the time I was ready to go in, nah, this is not the day. I came into his office in May 2004. I said, well, remember a few months ago, I kept telling you I had to go to the doctor? He said, right. No, I was concerned. I said, well, I told you there was nothing to worry about. There wasn't life-threatening, that I'm healthy, everything's okay. I have multiple sclerosis. And he was surprised, but he also had a ton of questions. It was an enormous relief. It lifted an enormous burden off of my shoulders.
I chose not to disclose more at my work because I didn't feel like I needed any additional accommodations. I have since changed jobs. At my current employer, I have not disclosed. There really hasn't been a reason to do it.
So I heard the news sitting at my cubicle at work, and I was only 2 years into my professional career. So at that point, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't know what it meant, and obviously it was only the first stage in the full diagnosis. I visited with my direct supervisor after probably about 6 months or so. I felt like I had been with my company long enough that I had proven my abilities, and so I was hoping that those would compensate for any shortcomings I might have when I had some issues with my MS. I think one of the most important things you should do to prepare for disclosure with your employer is, what do you want to get out of the conversation? Be prepared to talk about what your disability is and how it's going to impact you at work. You don't need to go into a lot of technical terms with them, a lot of medical terms that they don't understand, but make it simple, crisp, to the point. What is it that causes you to need to miss some time from work? What is it that causes you to need that special accommodation at work? If your disability is not impacting your ability to do your job, there might not be any reason to disclose, other than, perhaps it's just that little birdie sitting on your shoulder that's making you feel like, gosh, I'm not being truthful, completely truthful with my employer. But at the end of the day, if it's not impacting your ability to do your job, they don't need to know about your disability, your MS, whatever the case may be. That's your decision.